Hey, and good Friday afternoon, everybody. Or Friday morning, everybody. How y'all doing here on your Friday? Getting ready for a very busy weather day. It was a busy weather day yesterday. We had almost a dozen tornadoes reported, about 11 yesterday, and some 260 reports. And as busy as it was yesterday, we could expect possibly even more reports from today. It's going to be just kind of a series of disturbances we're going to watch. We've got storms out there currently that are providing some severe weather this morning, and we got several rounds. The real heavy stuff gets going into later this afternoon. We're talking major cities like St. Louis, Nashville, Louisville, a lot of these places under the gun here for today. So we're going to give you a complete update here on what you expect. We'll look at the timing, we'll look at the models, we'll look at everything on that. Now, before we get going, if you are not a subscriber to this channel and you'd like to get some updates like this and participate in our live coverage, please hit that subscribe button so you get those updates, and it'll be a pleasure to be one of your severe weather guys out there in the YouTube universe. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to see out there for today. So we're going to be looking at our day one outlook here for today. So let me go ahead and get that up for you, as we're going to be breaking this all down for you. Again, a moderate risk day is what we're expecting here for this afternoon, as things really got to get going here. So let's go ahead and transition over to that. Here we go. And let's talk about this. So again, we got a pretty sizable area here. It's under the gun. So really, it's got that enhanced in that red zone. So we're talking everywhere from, Huntington, West Virginia, Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, Bowling Green, Cape Girardeau, right into St. Louis, Bloomington, Indiana. Again, getting into the northern portion of Nashville, just to the right on the cusp of Nashville, Tennessee. Memphis is in the enhanced area. So a very large area here that is under the gun for this weather for today. So let's go ahead and break this down by the categories. We'll look at how things are going to break down here. We'll look at the tornado risk. Again, running pretty high in this area, about 15% in that moderate risk zone. Along with that, some very strong gusty winds up to potential hurricane force. We're talking 75-mile-per-hour winds, between 60 and 80 mile-per-hour winds as this stuff comes through. So this is your tornado risk here for today. Looks like after about 4 o'clock and then going into the evening hours here for today. And we'll look at the wind threat. Again, a big bullseye. Look at that, big purple, 45%. That's very high, folks. So again, some very gusty winds. We're going to see a squall line, and we're also going to see probably some individual potential supercells in the area. So we're going to have to watch that closely here as we go into the late afternoon and into the evening hours. And then finally, the hail threat, obviously going to be pretty high. I think baseball-sized hail, not out of the question here, folks, especially in that red zone, 30% risk of hail right in there. My big target zone, really, if you're going to ask me, based off what I'm seeing here on everything, if I was going to really give you a kind of where I think we're going to see the worst case, kind of if I was going to circle that down a little bit, I'd say right about in there. That's basically just looking at the latest model data and everything that's going on with that right now. So again, this is all being driven by this big low pressure system up to the north. We got a pretty good jet here flow coming in this way. So we've got some jet energy coming in here, coming across Texas and coming in toward Tennessee. So you got a little push there. And then you got this big low pressure system up here toward the north that's little spokes of energy kind of breaking off and kind of pushing into that very, very warm air. We got, we're talking temperatures here, well into the 80s and 90s. We're talking about a lot of octane for these storms. So I'm going to kind of break this down for you here as we look at the latest model data and kind of show you what we're expecting here. So let me go and get that up for you as we're going to be talking about that real quick. Oops, got to switch this over first, dummy. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the weather here, breaking this down. So let's go ahead and talk about this as we're going to be looking at a couple factors here. First thing I want to talk about is the fuel source. So again, the heat, the latent heat that's going to be driving these systems out there. And it's running pretty high. I mean, it really is. It's running pretty good, pretty intense here. So here's this. This is a snapshot at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Look at this area, this target zone. Again, this is that target zone we're talking about, sitting right in here. So right in here. So we're talking Cape, which again is your fuel, and we're talking 4,000 plus. That is very high, my friends, very high to feed those thunderstorms and really kind of get them going. So we're taking super octane fuel and we're just injecting it right into these disturbances. We also got some pretty high level winds. You saw that on the satellite imagery coming here. So we got pretty good helicity. We got pretty good instability, obviously, with a lot of Cape in there that's going to fuel these things and get it going. And this is looking at your significant tornado parameter. So let me bring this forward here again here for this afternoon. You see it kind of really starts to up around 5 o'clock. Look at this area in here again. Seeing it coming up, starting to spike in here on the tail end, on the top end of that scale. So we're kind of getting into this zone here. We're talking upwards, getting close to 4, like 3 and 4, kind of in the middle of that scale. Pretty good bust right in here. So again, anywhere from basically southern Missouri, Arkansas, kind of tracking across Kentucky, southern Indiana, all up in that zone where that high risk was. And thank you for that new subscriber, by the way. I didn't see that pop in there. That's where we're going to see that for today. We got some storms out there now that's causing some severe. I'm going to show you that here in a second. But again, the real stuff is going for this afternoon. All right, so we've got the ingredients. You got the helicity, and you can see the alert there. We're going to show you that here in a second. And we, of course, have the stuff that's out there. Again, that is our new subscriber, Josh. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate you for checking us out. And let's go over and talk about what we're going to see here with the model data. So let me go ahead and switch over to this real quick. And I'll tell you what, I'm just going to switch it over from here. It timed out on me, so let me go ahead and push this over here. And we're going to look at the latest. We're going to look at the latest simulated radar here. So again, I want you to watch the timestamp here as we go ahead and watch this, and we're going to show you that here in just a second. So again, we've got the cluster storms we're dealing with right now. That's what's going on right now across the central portions of Kentucky. But as we go into the late afternoon, it looks like around 1 o'clock, the first initial signs of something happening is going to be back here. And it looks like St. Louis will be the first under the gun. Again, St. Louis is on the corner of this thing as well. You get this initial cluster of storms that's going to come up through St. Louis and into Illinois. So that's the first round. Then we start seeing around 5, 6 o'clock, we start seeing the rest of the stuff start to form back in here, starting to really get going. So as we go toward 6 o'clock, things really start to deteriorate, and then we're going to have to watch these storms here going toward 7, 8 o'clock here. So look at these storms right in here. This will be where the real bad severe risk will be spiking up between those hours, and then this line is going to slowly push off toward the east. So again, we'll have a couple of clusters to watch. You got these clusters up here in Ohio, through Kentucky and in through portions of Tennessee, and then you got stuff down here toward Texas. So multiple little clusters of storms that kind of track here, and again going into the nighttime hours. So as we lose the daytime heating, these storms should lose a bit of their punch. But it looks like Kentucky and the Mid-Atlantic. Mid-Atlantic's going to get hit early already across Virginia with the storms that are moving through Kentucky now. And they're going to get it again overnight going in toward Saturday morning. Now these storms, as they move into Alabama and Georgia here across this area here, will begin to weaken a bit as it moves on in here toward the morning hours. Again, we're losing that daytime heating. And then we're going to see some more severe weather potentially for tomorrow in a couple of zones we have to watch there as well. So that's the timing right now. It looks like that window between 5 after 4 o'clock, and then kind of going in toward the late evening hours, 10, 11 o'clock at night. That's when probably the most prime period will be for that severe weather really getting going, especially across that bullseye zone that we're talking about right in there. So again, that's that bullseye we're going to see here for later this afternoon. And again, this is going to go on through the weekend, folks. I'm going to back this up again. I'm going to illustrate the fact that we've got day 2. We got to watch across New York State, down toward the Mid-Atlantic, down toward the Carolinas. We have another little spot here toward Texas and Arkansas. And then day 3, we're going to see a spike here across the central portion. We got another disturbance rolling out of the Rockies, and we're going to see an enhanced area here across Kansas and into Oklahoma. So the next 3 days are going to be very, very busy here across the country. Today, though, is the prime day. This is going to be the worst of it, obviously, here for this afternoon. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on out there live right now. We'll go ahead and give you the latest on what's going on right now. So let's go over to Radar Mega. We've got multiple things going on out there right now. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch that is up, which let me go over to Radar Mega here, and we'll show you some of this. So again, we got the storms here coming across Arkansas, coming into portions of Tennessee here. Let's see this live camera up here in Union City. You can see the skies. Yeah, definitely looking a little angry, a little bit of a modest there with the clouds and some very heavy thunderstorms. There's the lightning back over here to the left. You see the lightning there off in the distance. So we're getting some pretty hefty thunderstorms here up across portions of Arkansas from Jonesboro up toward Colorsville, Union City, and coming into Kentucky. So this is the initial stuff, but not the real heavy stuff. That stuff's coming in a little bit later today. That's when we're expecting that to come on in. So that's that cluster of storms that we're seeing right now. And that'll continue to move off toward the east here for this morning. So again, we call this the warm-up act. This is the warm-up act for what's going to come later this afternoon. So when we get the daytime heating, that's really going to get that going and going downhill. Let me do one thing here on the fly real quick. There's one graphic I want to show you that I did not prepare real quick, so I need to get this up for you. Just bear with me here for 1 second while I go ahead and get this fired up for you here. And we got a new severe thunderstorm warning here, which I will highlight for you here in just 1 second. So let me get into my account here. I did not pull this graphic up, and I do want to show it to you, so just bear with me for 1 second. Oh, come on. Don't be bad at me. Yeah, that's what you do. It's what you call doing live stuff, man. When you're live and you're on the air, you just gotta go with the flow. Little thing I kind of learned back in my TV days when I was doing that. So let me get this up for you here real quick, and we're gonna do our overlays here, and I'm gonna turn this on. And almost done. Surface front, surface temperature. I'm gonna turn on the watch. There we go. So I want to show this area.
Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Gotta pull back, that's a little too far. All right, so here, right there. So here we go. So here is, I want to show you again where the severe thunderstorm watch box is currently up until 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. Again, it's coming from Kentucky, going all the way back into Arkansas. So we'll probably see additional watches as those storms continue to press off toward the east there. But all those areas there in pink, that is your severe thunderstorm watch box that's currently up here in that zone. So as the storms progress off to the east, the areas here to the east are going to get into this. So going into Kentucky, further into the eastern portions of the state, in Tennessee, and going eventually into Virginia. So those areas will be under the gun and get that a little bit later. Let's talk about that one severe thunderstorm warning. It just popped up here. This is up in Kentucky. So again, you can see the central city, Greenville, getting hit pretty good here. 1 inch hail, 50 mile per hour winds, and we're looking at central Muhlenberg here until 8:15. So they're getting it right there. There's another camera in this area. Let's see what the conditions look there. Yeah, looking a little damp, a little cloudy there, that's for sure. Let me show you that real quick. There's the live look there into that zone. So that's in Kentucky. So that's with the cell right here, just off toward the east. So this is the cell right here that has that severe thunderstorm warning right now. So again, you guys just be prepared for today. As we go ahead and wrap up this live update, I will probably try to get on a little bit early, maybe about 12 o'clock or so, especially if that stuff in Arkansas starting to fire and going up toward Missouri. So we'll plan on doing a live about 12. And then I want to try to get an early jump on the channels if I can. You know, we're trying to grow the channel we can, but it's very, very difficult, especially when you got the two big dogs out there that got 4 million subscribers to try to build a channel when they're on. When they're on, it's very difficult. So I got some errands I got to take care of this morning, and then I will be back on here a little bit later. So if you'd like to be included in our broadcast, please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're alerted when we start these live broadcasts, and we'll keep you updated. Again, I like to give you guys personalized service here on this channel. We're a small channel, so we can do that. We don't have to worry about fighting tens of thousands of viewers on it at one time. So we'll give you those updates and keep you ahead of these storms and keep you safe. You know, my motto is be prepared and not scared. That is the motto of the station, and hopefully we'll keep you guys, get you through this weekend. But I tell you, once the storms go by, once this pattern change comes in place, the eastern half of the United States is looking very great going into Memorial Day weekend. So something to look forward to. All right, that's y'all's live update here for this morning. You guys take it easy. We'll see you back in here a little bit later. And hopefully we get through the day without any casualties and anybody getting hurt. All right? You guys take it easy.